Hey, what's going on YouTube? Mr. Football here, and today we're going to be doing a review on the iOgrapher filming case for the iPad Air 3 or the iPad Pro 10.5. So this case we used during football season this year to use for our Huddle Sideline package and film with. We pretty much only use the iPad to film on Friday night games. We use a regular camcorder for our other ones. We didn't have Sideline for the rest of our program, just on Friday nights. So we used this case, and I had seen these before. And when I got there, we had this older iPad Mini, the basketball program used for a long time, and so I originally had seen this case before and thought that's a pretty cool idea or whatever, and we'd actually used this to film one time. I use this sometimes at practice, and I've got some things on there. But I wanted to review kind of one of their newer ones, the iOgrapher case for the iPad Air 3. So my iPad Air 3s that I got, and this was a school iPad purchase that we did. I had some classroom ones, and so I wanted a case that I could use, inside the classroom to film certain things in there. And then on the football field, we used it for, pretty much our filming case that we would put up there. And I tried some other cases during the season, but this pretty much went for 9 out of the 10 games. We used one for one game. This other thing I'm going to review another time. But the iOgrapher was by far way better for us. The only thing that I was always concerned about was weather for it, just because there's no basically if our press box is out in the open, we could get it back kind of far. I mean, and it ended up working out for us for the better, because I would just back the camera up if we needed it, and I could just raise the tripod up. But it's got and that ended up working out for us, but that was originally a concern of mine when we would have bad weather. Luckily we didn't have it too much of that all year, but for the iPad's sake, this was very well kept in here. I mean, it's very much secured in. That was one of the things I was kind of worried about in the beginning. Pretty much this iPad just lived in this case for the last 15 weeks of football, and so it's got everything on it. I don't know if you guys have ever had any experience with these kind of cases, but it's got a spot there for your tripod. This really, it didn't really rub too bad. There is kind of like some just a little bit of a ring mark there, but that's not bad. The other extensions are like you're using this for filming purposes, and you're going to put like a shotgun mic on it or something, or a light. Like, you could do all that, and it doesn't have any accessories on the top. The only thing I left out in this review was there's a clip on that's got the lenses. The different, like, it didn't come with any lenses. I had originally had some of those iOgrapher lenses with this older iPad that we had. And actually, with the iPad this year and the way we filmed, we didn't need those extra lenses. So it ended up working out really good for us just to use the base camera that's on this. And that iPad Air 3, I mean, it films pretty good with the case. I'll show you a couple of clips here from, I won't do that. But we filmed from this case all year, and I mean, it just it filmed really well for us. And so I was really impressed by iOgrapher's stuff here. This cost $59.99. We ended up buying it, I believe from Amazon, and getting it for that. But this worked, and when I first got this, I was worried about finding one for the Air 3. When I got the Air 3 in like May of last year, that was the newest iPad that had came out up until that point. And so I was worried about finding the right case for it. So this case, not only does it support, the new Air 3, but I want to say, like, if you've got an iPad that's the 10.5, so I've got my iPad Pro, and so it will actually fit in there as well. I mean, if as long as you pay attention to the size that it recommends, whether it's like the 9.7 or the 10.5, like, these cases work really well. And I would really like to probably start using my iPad to film just a little bit more on some of the things that we're doing. But it's a great case. I mean, we used it for football. I'm not really using it right now necessarily, but I've got it here because I want to do this review on this case, just because it was so it was just such a big thing for us. And the way you get your iPad out of here is there's this tab here that you kind of pull on. And the only thing that I was concerned about was pulling on this too hard and possibly breaking it. That was the only thing that worried me, because if that breaks, then your iPad's not secured in there. So that's the only thing I was concerned with. I don't know if there's any warranty on that if you snap it off. I would say if you snap it off, it's you're out of luck there. But you kind of have to. What I figured out was if you just kind of pull on it a little bit, and you pull on your iPad just a little bit, it comes out pretty easy, and then there it is. So, but yeah, those it was just a real easy thing for us to use all year, and this case, just worked great for us. And if I have to go back to another filming case, I'm pretty much going to stick to this, because for our filmers that use this, I mean, it was pretty easy for them just to walk in and start with this and have it on the tripod and use the handles to kind of move as the play would develop, so they could kind of move the camera as needed. And it gives them more control over the camera rather than having to use the handle, which always is kind of iffy to use. And I always try to recommend for them to use the handles and kind of film like that. But this was a great case. I just want to, big shout out to iOgrapher. I mean, they make some good stuff. So made of, a real hard plastic. Like I said, the only concern that I had was that little piece right there. If you wore that out, I wouldn't know how the iPad would even stay in there. But right now, I mean, you can shake it. I mean, it's in there. It's secure. So that's my review. So I just want to thank you guys for watching this review on the iOgrapher case for the iPad Air 3. For all my coaches out there, it's just kind of one of those things sometimes you'll think about, but you got to have a good case to make sure you put your film and iPad in there. It was good for us, so I would highly recommend it if you guys are in the market for something like that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you next time. Mr. Football out.